Are you still thinking whether to go on a long trip or stay at home? You definitely need to watch Across the Kazakhland. You will see how beautiful our vast country is. In each episode, the hosts Anton Dukramet and Zhuldyz show the best tourist places that you definitely need to visit at least once in your life. So in the last episode, we visited the oldest city, Sairan. With knowledge of him, there is even in the holy book of the Avesta. We were struck by the nature of the Bayanaul National Park, inspired by the picturesque lakes Sayramsu and Toray, and amused by the forms of Bayanaul mountains, particularly the rock compatriots. Today, Zhuldyz will show us the city with the magnificent name Sauran. Anton is on the way to the mysterious lake Shaitan Kol. Soon we will find out what is so mysterious and dangerous about it. Are you still thinking? Join us. We will prove that traveling is always great and not always expensive. The Great Silk Road stretches for thousands of kilometers. It originated in the 2nd century BC and existed for more than 1,500 years. Under the scorching sun, caravans walked along endless steppes, picturesque mountains and passes. This is our story. The grand medieval route once connected the east and the west. Due to this, entire states developed and disappeared. Today, when we compare our railway tracks and highways with a Silk Road map, the routes are the same. It is today, when there are topographers, surveyors and geologists, scientists. But how did they make these routes of the Great Silk Way without geologists or geomorphologists? That is why today the train goes 5 or 6 meters from the Sauran, well, maybe a little more, and we can see the walls of the ancient Sauran. The road passed Kazakhstan through the south and east, covering the Central Territory, and went to Europe. The main cities, Kayalık, Otura, Kulan, Ispijab, Shaugar, and many others were formed in the south of the country. Nowadays, we can only see the ruins of the once significant settlements. There are a lot of settlements of the Bronze Age, Saka era, Karluk, Wusun states, and the dawn of this culture begins in the era of the Turkic Khaganates, before the Kazakh and after the Kazakh Khanate.
До Казахского ханства и после Казахского ханства. Здесь очень много памятников от эпохи палеолитов, кончая до современности.
There are many monuments of the Paleolithic era until modern ones. The region is one of the centers of tourism.
Поэтому является одним из центров tourism.
And our first film crew, headed by Zhuldyz, continues to explore the territory of southern Kazakhstan. Today, they came to the ancient city of Sauran. The city was first mentioned in the early 10th century. The settlement is considered one of the most important monuments of the medieval urban culture of Kazakhstan. Tourists can see the dilapidated fortress walls from several kilometers away. It is difficult not to notice them in the middle of an even step. When approaching closer, you understand once it was really powerful construction. Every time we come, we see archaeologists working. They are restoring the walls, digging. You must see the process of excavation. There is not enough time to tell you everything. I always tell students to look at all this process, dirt, and not when everything is ready, and what needs to be done to make it happen. And while Zhuldyz is looking around, we switch to the location of our second film crew with Anton. Well, we continue our journey and you can follow it using the hashtag acrossthekazakhland. We are heading to Kakaralinsk. We are leaving Pavlodar region and going in the direction of Karaganda region. It feels like it is warmer here, and I like it. I crossed. We call this central part of Kazakhstan Saryaka. Here the nature is truly unique. In the east, there are the Kizilay Mountains, in the west, the Ulitau Mountains, in the northeast, the Kakaraly Mountains. And the southern part is composed of the Bedpagdala Desert and the Turan-Sendi lowland. On the territory of Karaganda region, there are 10 natural monuments of local importance. Each of them is unique, and every year attracts more and more foreign tourists.
Люди другие, они, не скажу, что прямо они все одинаковые, они разные, очень разные. И есть люди очень закрытые.
People there are different. I will not say that they are all the same. They are different. There are people who are very private. Many are left alone for different reasons, but they are private for certain time.
Тех же возле сакральных мест, у мавзолеев, там вот мы в Южно-Казахстанской области ездили, там, либо в Восточно-Казахстанской области. Совершенно, казалось бы, разные люди, это южане, там более северные люди. Они вот есть сразу открытые.
People who live near sacred places, near mausoleums in South Kazakhstan region, in eastern Kazakhstan, they are very friendly. When you show that you just want to see this nature, not to break and mess up things.
С чем пришел? Ну, как ты пришел с миром, абсолютно. Ты пришел как чистый для познания. Ты хочешь просто понять эту природу, увидеть ее и не сломать ее, и ни в коем случае не натворить ничего.
Anton is on his way to the Kakaraly Mountains. This group will arrive late in the evening and therefore will stay here for the night. And in the morning of the next day, they will go to solve the secrets of Lake Shaitankol. Share the most interesting photos from your travels in Kazakhstan in the social networks using the hashtag acrossthekazakhland and get a chance to win prizes. And we again are returning to the south of Kazakhstan, to the historical place Sauran. The ancient settlement is located 40 kilometers northwest of Turkestan. Travel time is a little over an hour. You can get here only by car. Keep in mind that the road goes through dusty steppe. In summer, the air temperature here can reach 45 degrees. Therefore, it is best to come here in spring or early autumn.
Когда мы планируем путешествие, это мы в таком в драйве, в таком, представляете, мы сидим, эти прописываем карты.
When you're planning a trip, in the excitement, you plan the route, the things you should take, and you will surely forget something. Once we forgot bread, and in some small village we were looking for bread. We wanted to buy it for money, but money is not really used there. And this color paper turned out to be just colored pieces of paper.
Вообще. И вот эти вот цветные бумажки, они оказались просто цветными бумажками.
I like spontaneous trips because unplanned journeys inspire me.
Как правило, знаете, как вдохновляет, что ли.
Our film crew already got used to such conditions, so immediately they began to explore the neighborhood. The settlement is located in Turkestan region, 43 kilometers northwest of the city of Turkestan. The monument is part of the State Museum Reserve Azred Sultan. The city on the site of the modern settlement Sauran functioned in the 13th, 18th centuries. Historians believe that the city of Sauran existed in two places. In the pre-Mongol period, in the 6th, 12th centuries, it was located on the place of Karatobe ancient settlement. The current Sauran was founded in the 12th, 13th centuries.
Город, который сегодня раскапывается.
The city that is being excavated today surpasses Otrar. You will remember when you visit.
Вспомните, когда побываете там, сравните. Сауран настолько сегодня хорошо музеифицируется.
When you compare, Sauran is a great museum today. In the 15th century, Vasifi wrote that this is a great oasis. Imagine that we continue the route along the Silk Road from Turkestan and are moving towards Kızılorda. In 50 kilometers, we arrive at Sauran.
Приходим к Саурану.
In ancient times, it was a unique structure, and many travelers were surprised not only by the greatness of the city, but also by the irrigation system and the supply of drinking water. People created their own irrigation system. In many ancient records, Sauran is mentioned as a powerful fortification. Arab geographer Mokhtezi wrote, "Sauran is a big city, surrounded by 7 walls, one after another. There is a Rabat, a mosque, which is located in the very center. The city is a frontier fort against the Oghuz and the Kipchaks." Sauran was an important trade and economic center between the Karatau Ridge and the Sirdarya, along which the caravan route passed. The population of the city during its best days is estimated at 3 to 15,000 people. Only today we can only see the greatness of the city in our imagination. Many travelers are attracted to these places not only by their historical values, but also by their names. I have a feeling that Tolkien, who wrote The Lord of the Rings, he took the names Sauron or Urunkai from our Kazakhstan. In the 16th century, Rusbihan wrote, "What a pleasant city is built in the open steppe, extremely cheerful, bright, with a soft, invigorating air that gives the mind joy and strength. There are all sorts of beautiful trees all over the county." Follow our journey in the social networks using the hashtag acrossthekazakhland. Share your pictures from an exciting trip through Kazakhstan, participate in a photo contest, and win valuable prizes. The next morning, Anton went to see the mountains of Kakarali. Good morning. We are continuing our journey. It rained all night.
Всю ночь дождь опять идет, барабанит.
On the one hand, it is always said that the rain is lulling sleep, but when there is wind, the tent shaking, it is a little scary.
Лодка шатается, становится немножечко боязно.
But in the morning it is sunny and it can be said that it is almost hot.
В принципе, почти жарко. Нас кремат.
You know, you cannot go anywhere without a sleeping pad because it saves you more than anyone
Он
else.
тебя спасает больше первой другой.
As Anton confessed to us, he's not a special lover of outdoor travel. Imagine how it is difficult for him to assemble and disassemble a tent every time. Yes, and the weather recently is not really great.
Зачем же это?
Why is it attached that way? In general, there are already new interesting tents which look like umbrellas.
Которые ставятся буквально
Just do not fly away.
как зонтики. Ты не улетай.
But these things are dangerous. If they break, you will not put up a tent anymore.
Эти штуки, если поломаются, палатка уже больше не поставится.
Do not fly away, I say. Meanwhile, we continue this story of Sauran. In the first half of the 14th century, Sauran was the capital of the White Horde of Jochi. Then the city was part of the Kazakh Khanate. It was destroyed by the Dzungars and finally abandoned in the beginning of the 19th century. For more than 10 years, scientists explore the ancient city within the program Cultural Heritage. By the way, Sauran is the only architectural monument that perfectly preserved the topography. It can be seen how the site was built. Houses, square, streets are arranged in a certain order. It can be concluded that professional architects worked on the city plan. Using the remnants of the foundation, archaeologists were able to restore parts of the settlement.
А то, что не сохранилось сегодня, реконструируется.
What is not preserved is being reconstructed today. And through the entrance gate of Sauran today, you enter the city and walk along the streets of the ancient Sauran, like 500-600 years ago.
Где-то на этом уровне. А вы знаете, что Васильфи писал о том, что в этом Сауране, вот бы мне даже процитировать, я бы могла вот взять, процитировать. В этом древнем Сауране были качающиеся минареты.
You know, Vasifi wrote that there were swaying minarets in Sauran. Do you know that the very first excavated madrasa is in Sauran?
Древние, самое первое на сегодня из раскопанных учебных заведений медресе находится в Сауране. Может, завтра раскопают.
Maybe tomorrow they excavate something else, but so far in Kazakhstan Guinness Book of Records, this fact is indicated. The oldest school is in Sauran.
Древнее учебное заведение, раскопанное, сегодня изученное, это в Сауране.
Madrasas with swinging minarets are recognized worldwide as a unique construction. They are preserved in Iran, but Sauran won only in the picture.
Вот представьте, два высоких вот эти минареты, да, вот такие купольные, ну, как мечетские, минареты мечети. Высокие два минарета рядом стояли, сауранцы построили. И когда сюда въезжали...
Imagine two high minarets, such domes. And when guests arrived here on the Silk Road, they had the impression that these minarets were swinging. And it seemed that it was about to collapse.
Два минарета раскачиваются. И казалось, что вот сейчас они рухнут. И все в испуге, так сказать, отпрянули бы назад. А ларчик просто открывался.
And the secret is that a small log was hanging on small chains, someone was swinging it, and this swinging log created the effect of swinging minarets.
Тихонечко снизу раскачивал это бревно, это по закону физики. И раскачивающееся бревно между двумя минаретами создавало эффект раскачки минарета. Понимаете? Это ж надо было такое придумать.
And our main task for today is to preserve the ancient city, and perhaps later a large open-air museum will be opened at its base. While we were listening to a fascinating story, Anton finally figured out the tent and was ready to continue the journey to Lake Shaitankol.
Ta-da!
Like him wasn't here. Let's go to have some breakfast. Kakaralensk is called the Pearl of Saryaka, and it is not by chance. Untouched forests, crystal clear lakes, mountain Jailau remain forever in the memory of travelers.
Недавно был на пресс-показе одного фильма, и там показывали...
Recently I was at a press screening of the film, and there they showed a film about how a person went abroad and he dreamed about his childhood. And so interesting that his life is also black and blue, and Kazakhstan in his dreams is in light yellow tones. And I also imagine that we have such life. We have really yellow light tones in everything. Our deserts are Altai, our south, Mangistau, they are all in light colors, and this is very important. I think all our colors are warm, cozy, and people are the same.
Они все уютные, и люди здесь такие же.
The region seems to be a real paradise after long trips to the hot steppes of Kazakhstan. To see the mysterious lake, have a little walk up the hill on foot. Well, a little bit is about 2 hours. The reservoir is located in the most inaccessible place. Lake Shaitankol is located 230 kilometers from the city of Karaganda. Approximate travel time is 4 hours.
Вот на пути к озеру Шайтанколь.
Here on the way to Lake Shaitankol, you will see a huge amount of stones. It seems that in ancient times, huge people lived here who either built or played their games and scattered stone conglomerations in a chaotic manner.
Что здесь? Судя по всему,
Judging by the entrance, the ancient people were named Olga and Maxim, Tomb of the Giants.
вход в этот грот. Гробница великанов. Ой!
And nobody here. The giants left these places. Just like ordinary people left the city of Sauran in the 19th century. There are several reasons for this. One of them is the cessation of trade and drought, which suddenly overtook this region. Despite the fact that there are no reservoirs in the region, there were gorgeous gardens in the city. All this thanks to water supply. The underground channels were the length of several kilometers, so the water flowed into the city that way. A special irrigation system was also developed by ancient scientists. These were kind of mines. Yes, people died. I read that for the slaves from India were used for that. I can't help but ask why they were from India. Maybe that it was cheaper. Slaves were traded. Somewhere there was a good tea, somewhere sleds, and it was written that the cheapest slaves were in Sauran. Where did they come from? How many questions? The more you read, the more questions you get. Probably each of us wants to know our origins. Who are we? How did our ancestors live before? And most importantly, who they were. A trip to southern Kazakhstan will help you find answers to some of these questions. This is a unique territory, South Kazakhstan. And it is not by chance that it is divided into two territories. South Kazakhstan region with a center in Shymkent and Turkestan with a center in Turkestan. Turkestan is worth to be a separate local territory, which is beautiful. The second film crew finally got to Shaytankol. We managed to find it, despite the fact that we wandered around for about 3 hours. Shaytankol Lake is located at the altitude of 1,120 meters above sea level. The road here is quite steep and takes about 3 kilometers. Therefore, you need to come prepared. But it winds between picturesque rocks. It is generally interesting about this lake. In spite of numerous measurements, there is no accurate information about its depth. Different opinions. But there is a belief that one of the cracks reaches 97 meters in depth. Another says that this is a former non-functioning volcano. Therefore, the theory of the depth of the lake is quite plausible. Well, ancient people say that you cannot swim here. There are evil spirits who are ready to drag to the bottom or somehow curse. The name comes from that. Shaitan means devil. But the ducks are swimming and it seems okay. The water in the lake is bright blue. In summer it is cool here, and in winter it is completely covered with a thick layer of ice. Not a single river or spring flows into the reservoir, so the water level does not change. It is said that the volume of water in the lake is enough to flood the nearest city of Kakaralinsk. In general, the water is very red. It feels like something has happened here. They say that if you put your hand here, it will be cursed. Therefore, we will not do this. In general, it seems that the lake seems to be groaning. We need to go. We still have Kakaralinsk. The most interesting thing is that so far no one has guessed the mystery of the lake. Neither scientists nor local historians. Even physics were here. So Shaytankol is another big mystery of the Great Steppe, which someday we have to find out. Time to sum up. Today we visited the historical city with a loud name, Sauran. If you are a fan of archaeology and you are interested in ancient architectural monuments, you should definitely come here. Some even get the opportunity to participate in archaeological excavations. While those who want to be alone with nature, we advise you to visit Kakarali. For stunning landscapes, it is not necessary to go far abroad. All this is located a few kilometers away from your city. And this fact is proved every time by our hosts Anton Dukravets and Zhuldyz Follow our journey in social networks using the hashtag acrossthekazakhland. Stay tuned. See you very soon.